Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Howdy, 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 and welcome to the iGPFun Formula 3 series presented by SRP here at Phillip Island Circuit here on Apex Racing TV. I am Austin. I am joined by Sebastian Bosher-Williams with Mark Tranter in the production booth. And Mark, Sebastian, and all you guys, I'm going crazy over here. Sebastian, how are you feeling about today?
Yeah, really nice to have you back in the commentary box, Austin. Yeah, I'm feeling really excited about this race. 7 different winners from 7 races so far. I mean, Red Bull Ring, it was crazy. I mean, Austin, you missed out on such an amazing race. I mean, thanks to Sam Fitzpatrick for jumping in the commentary booth with me to cover last week's race. What are we going to see tonight? Phillip Island, it was a really good race last season, wasn't it, Austin? We both covered that, and I think we're going to see exactly the same again tonight. And the temperature, 19 degrees Celsius, so lots of grip out there. I think this is, I can't wait to get this one underway, Austin.
Yeah, there's never, for as long as we've had iGPFun Formula 3 series here on Apex Racing TV, we have never had a repeat winner here at Phillip Island. And I have to say, Phillip Island is the home of extreme Formula 3 action. It's very tight, very fast. It's hard to make a pass here, and it leads to some really creative strategies right now, especially with qualifying. What setup the driver uses. We've seen drivers currently qualifying with medium downforce, but sometimes the drivers will switch to low downforce to give them the advantage in the straightaways and make it pretty hard for everybody trying to pass them. And it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's great to be back here. Some would say that it's coming home, back to the commentary box with me, not on a movie set anymore.
Yeah, of course you were out and doing very exciting things. Well, yeah, I mean, Red Bull, I know that you said you've watched it, but if anybody who's joining for round 7 has not seen round 6 of Red Bull Ring, I implore you to go and have a look at it.
Go back and rewatch it. It's seriously worth it. I wasn't even there. I rewatched it later that night. It was fantastic.
It really, really was. And, you know, while I was doing my prep for today's race, I noticed that we have, every time that a driver has qualified on pole, they've gone on to win the race. So are we going to see today Rosencrantz at the moment, he's at the top of the timing stands in qualifying. Is he going to go on to win the race? He's got the best chance. I mean, statistically, it's 100% conversion rate from pole positions to race win. Alistair Hayes second, Jerome Lamy in third. A really interesting top 3 for you tonight. A few drivers just finishing up their laps, Austin. Tony Jimenez, Adam Tausma, Joris Blom moves up into 20th place. That's sort of a last minute addition. So he finding some pace at the exact moment where you really, really, really like to find a little bit of time.
Yeah, and to kind of bounce back on that point you made, remember Alton Park, we had our 2 leaders. They qualified 1 and 2, but they were battling and swapping over. It's never been a really dominant win. It's just happened to be the one who wins the race started on pole, but it's never a dominating win. And I feel like it's going to be another one of those situations where the winner is going to have to really get the elbows out and really prove their point. And I believe this is going to be another Alton Park levels of battling.
I think you're right. I mean, Marteau last time out at Red Bull Ring, I mean, he was the class of the field. Nobody could get anywhere near him. But you're right, Alton Park really close battling as well. Watkins Glen as well, round 1. So yeah, you're right. You know, it's not been, you know, as soon as the pole sitter drives away, they've won. And, you know, today, Alistair Hay, 3 turns off the pole. He's going to be one to watch out for here, Austin.
He is definitely, and Rosencrantz starting up on pole, Foster Hay right beside him, Jerome Lamley, Will McIntyre Jones, Joshua Wilson, Simon Gabriel, Christian Glamstetter, Rodrigo Duran, Luca Brani, Andy Flint, and Daryl Rollinson, followed by Lucas Maruk is in 12th place. Behind them is Herrera, Pavel Vasilev, Tony Jimenez, Evan Way, Frankie Franchica, Simon Fessy, Victor Barris, Reed Dennis, Joris Bloom, Stu Millen, Adam Tasman, Robert Ridgway in 24th. Behind them is Potapenko, Philip Lucas, Nick Carty, Ben White, Marcelo Kessler, Matt Brewer, Rafael Munzer, Richard Van Veen, Ben Goyetti, Keelan Richie Robertson, Giovanni Saletto, and Ben Siernek, followed by Matthew Gracie and Giacomo Murgia at the end of our 38-car grade. Giacomo, though, did not put in a lap, a qualified lap time. Our last winners here was Rodrigo Duran, followed by Marteau, Francesco Miola, Greg Sitz, and Julian Alvarez. Those are our previous winners going all the way back to 2020 season 1. Current championship leader is Lucas Baruch, and current 2500 championship leader is Robert Ridgway, and the Digital Apex cars are leading that championship right now. Here at Phillip Island, I say it's time to get ready to rock and roll down under as we wait for these lights to get on right about now. I missed the mark. There it is. All right, here we go. 5 red lights, and it is green, green, green here at Phillip Island. It's a great start off the line by Rosencrantz. Alistair Hay getting a good one. I think Jerome Lamley was just a little bit late off the line, had a little bit of a stutter because the top 2 are kind of cleared him off right there, but it's Rosencrantz, Hay, Lamley, and Drones, Joshua Wilson getting up there. Simon Gabriel and Christian Glamstetter are the first car side by side as they go through turns 1 and entering turns 2. That double apex corner, this is where we usually see a little bit of incidents happen with cars on cold tires and low grip and low downforce. Could definitely get a little bit loosey-goosey right here. Heading into the treacherous hairpin here at Phillip Island, you can see cars 2 wide all the way down through the field as they go side by side, heading into the hairpin. A big lockup by the number 96 right there. Frankie Franchica getting a big lock, but avoiding the bumper up ahead of someone Fessy as they are still side by side heading into Serbia right now, as everybody is just making their way through there very nicely and very cleanly. No incidents so far. That's definitely what you want to see here at Phillip Island at the start of this race. You can see how far the field is spread out right now. Everybody's thinking this very carefully on this opening lap. A lot of 2 major hairpins, 2 major braking spots, and a lot of brake lockups right there. So we'll overtake someone. Gabriel making a move on to the brakes. I believe Joshua Wilson was the car that did that giant lockup, but you can see up in front of him, the field and the leaders are starting to pull away. Lamley, Hay, and Rosencrantz starting to pull away as everybody else behind us is starting to fight as they round that final corner, pedal to the metal, and down the front straightaway.
Remarkably clean start from everybody involved. You're right, I think Jerome Lamley did not get the best start, but he's slowly catching up to Alistair Hay. Rosencrantz, a dream getaway for the pole sitter. They're 4 wide going through turn 1.
I don't know who got the confidence to do that one, but that was insane. Also, when we went into there and cut away to different shots, Simon Gabriel had a big hit of oversteer, went all the way down to the inside of the track, exiting turn 1, and was in the grass for a while. They're 3 wide heading into the hairpin, and there's a little bit of contact. Vaslin, Pavel gets pushed out wide.
I mean, to be honest, I'm surprised we didn't see that on lap 1. They were all going 3 wide into turn 4, Honda corner. So yeah, surprised that that's not the first incident we've seen so far in this race. Andy Flynn at the moment, he's in 11th place. He's lost the position to Darren Rowlandson. Rowlandson now some 2 seconds ahead of Andy Flynn. Andy Flynn really not having a great season, really has not been lucky whatsoever. Lock up there from basically everybody as they round turn 11 on now to this long left-hander to start another lap. Oh, and Austin, I think we've had some form of issue. All of a sudden my timing screen just sprung into life, and I think we've had a few little incidents out on track.
Matt Brewer, Pavel Vasiliev have both have incidents. I think Matthew Gracie, Ben Goyetti, Ben White have all were involved in there. Cars at the bottom of our timing screen are heading into the pit lane. We'll get a replay of that as soon as that happens. But Jones gets tapped behind, and we got cars flying over each other as Jones makes contact, and I believe that was Joshua Wilson who hit him.
Joshua Wilson, yeah, I mean, our championship leader just managed to get through, find the gap in the carnage, but Phil McIntyre Jones, I mean, he's not had any luck so far this season. Oh, there's somebody going very wide in the background. There's a half spin as well through turn 5. It's all kicking off here on lap 3 of round 7 of the iGPFun series. We have Herrera at the moment just almost wanting just to stay out of the way. He's in a great spot at the moment. We've lost 2 places from the start, but got a really good opportunity to gain some more. Just needs to stay back and let, seems like everybody ahead of him, make those mistakes that he can capitalise on. Race now down towards turn 10. Herrera trying to go around the outside of Joris Blum, but can't find any form of way through. Herrera just going to have to bide his time a little bit. He's now onto the back straight, one of the best places to overtake into turn 1, Doohan corner. Herrera, watch for him. You see Luca Varani under pressure from Glamsetter.
Well, yeah, Luca Varani and Glamsetter going to go stop aside. You see Luca Varani running that lower downforce and Glamsetter running the higher downforce. They'll be giving him more advantages in the corner because higher downforce, more grip, and slower corners equal faster there. But Luca Varani is going to be dangerous on the straightaway. And if you're a Glamsetter, you definitely want to be making the moves as fast as possible on Luca Varani so you can pull away before you get to any of these slow corners, especially right here because Luca Varani is going to be very dangerous on the brakes because he's going to be using a lot more time on the brakes. And big lock of right, Lucasburg championship leader.
He was on the grass on the entry to turn 4. I think Baruch just sort of almost biding his time, playing it safe, but playing it too safe. Got on the grass, no way of controlling the car into the braking zone of turn 4. And it really has not been our championship leader's day as well. He qualified in 12th place. He now sits currently in 19th position. Philip Lucas right behind.
And if you're Jerome Lamley and Robert Ridgway, who are 31 and 32 points behind Lucas Maruch, that is going to be closing that down. And also Robert Ridgway is our 2,500 classification saying he's pretty much our second tier. He's currently sitting 3rd overall in the championship. And if it all goes his way today, if it goes this way throughout the final parts of the season, he could have an opportunity to be both championship winners, which I don't think has ever happened in iGPFun's history, but that gap has closed down right now if it ends at this point for Jerome Lamley, who closes that 31-point gap to Lucas Maruch after that issue. Maruch down into 19th. Robert Ridgway is in 22nd, so that 1-point difference for second place is not going to happen right here, as this is Evan Way stuck between a rock and a hard place. Rodrigo Duran looking down to the inside. They were looking 3 wide into the Honda hairpin. They decided not to go 3 wide through there. Rodrigo Duran being sensible to back it away from right there, but he's being overtaken by Blom right there. Blom down to the inside of Blom, making a good move.
Rodrigo Duran not having the race that he would have liked either, down 6 places from where he started last season's race winner around here, not finding the same pace that he did 1 season ago. Not quite sure if Durant's picked up any form of damage or anything, because the pace just isn't there for him at this stage of the race. Herrera got this mega pack behind him. Mill, Maruk, Lucas, Franchica, Dennis Ridgway, all tucked up right behind the Spanish driver. Herrera was unable. There you go, Rodrigo Duran. Sorry to cut across myself there. Rodrigo Duran into the
that's
pit.
damage.
I think he's got damage. So Rodrigo Duran,
front right.
last season's race winner, not going to be able to do the double.
Yeah, unable to do the double right here. The tradition continues, the unfortunate tradition of no repeat winners at Phillip Island will continue today, as Simon Fessy and Tony Jimenez have had an issue at turn 1. Actually, no, they're at turn 2. There they are on the outside of the track.
Carnage. I just looked at my timing screen. Honestly, all of a sudden, everything has changed. So Franchica looking back at this pack, Maruk to the inside of Stuart Mill. Victor Barris has had some form of issue. He's off on the outside of
off the exit.
Smoke flying, and Maruk has gone from 19th when he started the lap back into 12th place where he started. Maruk sort of having a ping pong race so far.
It looks like Lucas Maruk decided to get on board of a roller coaster and enjoy those ups and downs around here, down under. And honestly, this is the most roller coaster way that Lucas Maruk's race could go. You go down, then you go back up, then you go back down, then go back up. And honestly, he's having a good time. If he's racing, being the championship leader, you want to do as best as you can, but Jerome Lamley is currently on a 3-race streak at the podium, and he's looking for number 4 in a row. This is Tony Jimenez. This is what happened right here with Simon Fessy. You just see him right on the bumper, switch back down to the inside. Is this just a little bit, a lot too much speed heading into our back end, kicked out, just a little bit of a tap to Fessy. But you can see that they're carrying just so much speed that they both slid out and made contact with each other. And at turn 2, it's so tricky. I mentioned that at turn 1, everyone is very tricky. And then later on in the race, as this is a very nice move by Blom. George Blom with a fantastic move down to the inside at turn 2. Glamsetter and Gabriel side by side for 4th place. Glamsetter down to the inside. And the Racing Forces driver with a fantastic move for 4th.
Yeah, I thought we were going to see the exact same issue that we saw one lap ago between Blom and Talisman. Talisman and Blom still scrapping it out. They're currently heading through turn 7 and 8 side by side, but I think Blom has just got the lead in that battle for now. Glamsetter and Gabriel really happy at the moment just to keep on swapping places. They've almost given up on the fight for 3rd. Lamy is some 6 seconds ahead now of this battle for 4th and 5th. So it really seems that we've got 2 trains at the moment. We've got the Rosencrantz, Alistair Hay, Jerome Lamy battle, and the Glamsetter, Gabriel, Luca Ferrani, and then sort of the rest of the pack. So top 3 making a break for it at the moment. Rolandson now trying to gain on Luca Ferrani. Luca Ferrani, though, has got that low downforce setup package. I think Rolandson is going to find it really, really difficult to get past Luca Ferrani at this stage of the race.
Yeah, Verona with that low downforce also getting the draft up ahead. Will be helped by Glamsetter and Simon Gabriel fighting with each other as they are nose to tail with each other. Here we're going to be seeing Gabriel and Glamsetter go side by side again. Yes, we are. Glamsetter and Gabriel side by side. Glamsetter on the outside, Gabriel onto the inside. Gabriel with the apex line, able to get it around the corner and retake 4th place, but Glamsetter back onto the inside. And here we go. Glamsetter comes across the corner and cuts across the nose right there. Glamsetter back into 4th, but here comes Gabriel and Glamsetter once more back into the field. It's Bloom, and I believe that is the number 7 of Adam Talisman going side by side with each other.
Yeah, this is again through 7 and 8, the same thing they did 1 lap ago. Adam Talisman's got the inside line, but Joris Blom says, I'm just going to go clean around the outside of you into the braking zone of turn 10. Talisman looks to the inside, locks up. How do they not make contact? How did Adam Talisman not end up in the back of Joris Blom? I do not know, but somehow, fortuitously, they all make it through them and start lap 10, because I don't think Joris Blom really anticipated to be starting this lap after seeing Adam Talisman dive into the inside into turn 10.
Yeah, it was a massive look down to the inside by Adam Talisman. There's something that we didn't cover at all in the pre-race. The wind here is very strong. It's a tailwind heading into turn 1. And if you saw the lockup, it's a massive plume of smoke, 50 kilometers an hour, just tailwind heading into turn 1. We're almost pretty much straight south, or actually straight north into in the air. And it's just the smoke in the air is definitely being thrown around a lot right here. And it's very exciting to see how these cars are battling the win, and the draft is even more powerful than it usually is today.
It certainly is. It's a really good point to pick up on there, Austin. While all of that was going on, Glamsetter now losing the position to Luca Ferrani. Gabriel 4th, Luca Ferrani 5th. Glamsetter 6th, and under pressure from Rolandson, Flynn, and Evan Way as well. So I have to say, at the moment, Glamsetter really not having the pace that it looked like he had earlier on in the race. So hopefully for any Christian Glamsetter fans, he's almost saving his tyres and hoping that he'll come back and be stronger at the end of the race. But Glamsetter really needs to do something if he wants to re-find that pace. Luca Ferrani though, what a great job he's doing. Say that, what a great job he's doing. There's almost wheel banging with him, between him and Gabriel into turn 1. Luca Ferrani has the inside line. Luca Ferrani takes his race that was going from better to absolutely superb. Ferrani now, well, if he gets this move done, I should say, will be up 5 places from where he started.
Now Ferrani with a fantastic run so far today. Low downforce definitely worked out. He's looking down to the inside right now. They're side by side with each other. Simon Gabriel defending from Luca Ferrani. He's going to be trying to lurch it down to the inside at the hairpin, but Ferrani, he's made him make it. He's forced him into a mistake. A little bit of a lock by Simon Gabriel. Can Ferrani hold it around to the outside right now? Ferrani's going to have the inside line. So he goes side by side once more, and Luca Ferrani up 5 spots, able to make it work right there.
Superb driving by Luca Ferrani. I was hoping that I hadn't commentators cursed him. I thought he had that move done and dusted over Gabriel. Gabriel put up some good defensive, and now on the offensive through turn 9. Lukey Heights corner, I should say, down into turn 10. We see this not particularly end well. Oh, again, so close to contact. Gabriel all out of control into the braking zone. Luca Ferrani held his line and held the position. And now this is where Luca Ferrani's setup comes into its own. He's got the straight line speed. He can just sort of pull away on the straights. I think Gabriel is going to have such a tough job to get past Luca Ferrani and retake that 4th position.
It's not going to be easy as it usually is. Gabriel's going to be side by side with Ferrani, but he's not going to be clear of him. Ferrani lifted off to let him by, but Ferrani can definitely take him right back. He's behind him there, 2 rows deep, 2 wide, and into turn 1. Lucas Maruk decided to take it a little bit easy and try to take any freebies that he can, as he's just sitting on the outside of the top 10 behind Stuart Millen, Adam Talisman, and Blom in 10th place, and he's currently in that row. He's looking for that inside at the hairpin and wanted to go to the inside of the turn before, but no, he's got to make up these moves to lower that championship points loss that he has currently going for him to Jerome Lamley in 2nd place. In 3rd place, 2nd place in the championship. He's anything behind the leader. He's losing.
Well, Josh Blom at the moment still having a fight with Adam Talisman. That battle's been going on now for 3 or 4 laps. They're still squabbling and scrapping it out through turn 9 into turn 10. We've seen Talisman be super late under brakes into turn 10. This time chooses not to be. In fact, it's Lucas Maruk that feels a little bit adventurous, but there's so much smoke. You're right. I mean,
honestly,
at this point, I'm going to have to start thinking about tie wear.
In the background, Stu Miller gets a little bit of the grass. It goes around, and he saved it, though. He just got a little bit of grass. Car shot off to the left, but Stuart Millen, oh, that's pretty much pulling the handbrake on the highway right there. Everybody's going to go past you.
It was almost like he was going home. He's like, it's all right, I'm coming home. But, yeah, that's not
This is completely not your Europa football and all that stuff.
It totally isn't. Totally isn't whatsoever, because I wouldn't.
No, he probably cursed himself like y'all keep cursing you since the 60s, so it's on point.
Well, we won it this time. Rafael Munza trying to get past Robert Ridgway, forces Ridgway to the inside. Munza going to have to go all the way around the outside, around turn 4. He's going to find the door firmly shut in his face unless he can stick his front axle in, which he does. That's going to give him the inside line now for turn 6, Siberia. Munza now up past Ridgway, really textbook.
Yeah, Robert's still right there. Robert is still right there around the outside, and it's going to be side by side. And heading into, well, I know this corner has a completely different name. I want to call it Smoky Corner because there's so much smoke. You think you're getting brisket.
Oh, look at Bill
in the background. That's big move on the brakes by the number 49, Stu Millen, trying to retake his spots back after that mistake he had on the outside of this curve, and he still goes all the way out there but Stu very brave on the brakes right there, trying to get as much speed as he can as the Flaps VRT driver is going to be following Robert Ridgway for 17th place as they are having a drag race right now. And I think they're bumped just a little bit as Muser is going looking down to the inside. Up ahead, Lucas Baruch, championship leader, looking down to the outside as Adam Talisman gets right onto him. And I thought Phillip Lucas got a little bit loose off the exit, almost made contact with him. Gabriel Verani, whoa, lock up by Gabriel, switch back by Verani down to the inside, but they make contact on the exit, and somehow Gabriel is rally crossing, and in the wall.
In the wall, so what happened there? Luca Verani, not quite sure.
Gabriel locked up, and Verani saw that he locked up, he went for the switchback, and I think he went trying to cover off Gabriel, but Gabriel was still on the track right there, and they hooked into each other, and Gabriel got into the grass and, well, into the wall, and eventually out of the race.
With the replay, this is on board with Darren Rolinson, so they've all
Let's stop at Rolinson. Yeah, there's the lockup.
So Luca Verani goes to the inside. Luca Verani, I think, unaware, and you know, he's entitled to take that line. It is somewhat of the racing line, but Verani, I mean, I have to question whether his spotter would have been telling him that there was a car on the outside. Not quite sure, but
I think what might have went in his head, he saw Simon Gabriel locked up and continued that trajectory and didn't expect when he made the move that he was able to save it and stay alongside him just by a little bit, and he just tried to cover him off of a car that was still there. Very unfortunate issue by Simon Gabriel, completely well, it was a forced error with a lockup brake battle with Luca Verani, but he was, I would say, the innocent party in that entire situation because he was all the way out to the left after saving the car, and Verani did kind of come over, and Verani's going to hate me for saying this, but I'm sorry, Luca, but that's on you.
I think Luca Verani, he's really humble when it comes to incidents, and you know, he has in fact, you know, taken a penalty earlier on in the season. So, you know, Luca Verani very much open and happy to almost have the example made of him. So it'd be interesting to see what the stewards.
Ben's had an issue.
Yeah, so Stiletto, Killer, and Richie Robertson. But I mean, look at this man at the moment, Chris Rosencrantz. Nothing bothering him at the moment. The gap is now 2.7 seconds over Alistair Hay in second place. The top three remain the same as they did in qualifying. Rosencrantz just having an easy race so far. That 89 machine doing exactly what he needs to do. But, I mean, while all of that was going on, Glamsetter now regains fourth position. Of course, Glamsetter was battling with... I
really want to know what happened right here, because I saw Gayet, Ben, he fell to Richie Robinson and Stiletto off the track, and then he regained the spots off the track. Where did he go off the track to lose 2 spots and then regain the 2 spots? Did he lose it at the hairpin?
Well, find out.
Well, this is the hairpin right here. And are we going to be seeing an off-track excursion into the brakes? Yep, that's a big lockup. They all locked up. He goes off the track, and they make contact with each other. Oh, no!
I mean, that's extraordinary. It almost seems that Gayet
all made a mistake. They all made a mistake right there.
Do we think that by Gietti making that mistake almost saved him from a worse fate? I don't think I've ever seen that before. So Gietti remains. Actually, he did lose position. I think Ramon Fessi, sort of scampered through, but Gietti.
You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of that World Karting Championship where there was a little bit of oil on track. You did the entire field just goes off in that one corner. Oh, and around is Adam Talisman!
Just as you said, Austin, almost exactly as you said the word spin, Adam Talisman takes a spin. That, I think, was out of turn 10. You see, Adam Talisman would be so aggressive under braking into turn 10. You know, he's been trying to attack other cars, and I think that was on exit, maybe a little bit too deep in, tried to recover the speed, applied the throttle a little bit earlier than maybe the car was ready for. Around Adam Talisman goes. He's now 21st place. I do believe he got going, though, and no damage was done. I don't think another car made contact with him, so he should be able to continue, but Lucas Baruch just slowly starts climbing through the field. It really feels like a champion's drive, this, from Lucas Baruch, just not taking any risks, just gaining the points slowly and competitively. Marcelo Kessler and Tony Jimenez, though, not really thinking too much about the consequences of their actions side by side into turn 4. Jimenez on the inside, Kessler going to have to concede that spot, at least for now. Contact up ahead, Austin. I think it was 3 wide also at one point.
Well, there's still 3 wide coming out of the corner, but yeah, contact up ahead. That's what you want to see if you're Marcel Kessler. That's not what you want to see if you are Rafael Munzer, because I believe Munzer might have damage because he is going slow and falling down the field like a rock in water as they continue on. But Marcel Kessler getting a freebie right there as you look into the sun heading up the hill and down into the brakes into, well, Smoky Moe's Corner. Great restaurant. Highly recommend if you ever come to America. But yeah, a lot of smoke in that corner, a lot of block-ups, and that you can just see it on the track. There's so much tire wear in that corner that it is very rubbered up right now. And that means they're heading into the pits, but you gotta be wondering who's been very aggressive on these tires, because we just reached halfway. And if we're already having drivers really struggle with that, with this car, I think tire wear is going to be a big talking point, especially if you've been a little bit too aggressive on the brakes.
Certainly, I think, Austin. You know, it sort of reminds me of last season finale of the last season, where it was in Interlagos and Herman decided to come into the pits and get a new set of tyres. We're going to see anybody else do that. Jerome Lamy, according to our timing screen, is out, but I'm hoping that's a little bit of an internet glitch for Jerome Lamy. We'll keep you all up to date upon those on Lamy. I think Lamy, Austin, might have some form of issue. He is falling throughout the order. His internet disconnected. I am not sure.
Oh no!
Heartbreak for Jerome Lamy, because nothing's come up on our timing screen.
The 3 podium streak for Jerome Lamley is not going to continue. He got the win in Sonoma. He got 2nd place in Oulton Park, and he got 3rd place in Red Bull Ring. And he is currently sitting 2nd in the championship to Lucas Baruch. But with him out right now, and yeah, he is out of this race. Jerome Lamley is going to fall away from 2nd place in the championship, giving it to the 2500 class leader, Robert Ridgway, is now in 2nd place in the championship.
A crazy Jerome Lamy connection drop due to upload packet loss just popped up on our timing screen. So Jerome Lamy's internet, unfortunately for him, failing at the worst possible moment. He'll be absolutely gutted, and we will send our commiserations to Jerome Lamy. You're right, 3 podiums on the bounce, not going to be able to make it 4 from 4.
About as unlucky as Colton Herta and clutch problems. I am not salty about that at all.
What's happened between Reed Dennis and Pavel Vaselli? They have both jumped to the pits almost together, almost in synchronicity. So what's going to happen? Reed Dennis, the 34 car. Well, I don't see any other cars around him at the moment.
I think you're about to see another car. Into the brakes we go, and too much mustard off the exit. And this is a very weird spot. Does he reverse back onto the track, or does another car rejoin him? Oh, he's beached.
So he's beached. So actually, we've
Pavel,
just had 2.
I think, is also just had an incident. They just retired at exactly the same time.
I mean, different
this
parts
is
of the track.
bizarre.
This is into turn 1. So he's caught the graph on the entrance to turn 2, and that's going to send him round.
2 cars get beached.
No.
Okay, he's immediately. I want to say he got beached right there, but he probably didn't.
Well, I mean, if it was real life racing, of course, gravel track's a little bit less, more forgiving, I should say, in iRacing than maybe in the real world. Herrera, though, in 14th at the moment, trying to get past Robert Ridgway. But Evan Way, you mentioned him earlier on, Austin. He's up 12 places from where he started. Currently sits in 4. Only Glamsetter ahead of him, preventing him from getting a podium. I mean, Way has had an absolutely superb race so far.
Yeah, Evan Way doing a very good job here today and having a great time in 4th place, up 12 spots. Evan Way doing fantastic as always, and Evan, hopefully this will be giving him a look into the top 10 overall driver standings, because the drivers in the top 10 that I'm going to currently read you the top 10. Lucas Baruch currently sitting in 9th place. Jerome Lamley, well, he just disconnected. He's out of the race. In 3rd, Tony Jimenez, he just had an incident. He is, well, actually that is 4th. Tony Jimenez is just got out of the pit lane. Robert Ridgway is currently in 13th place. Adam Tausma,
18th.
Right, is in 18th. Thank you. Will McIntyre Jones, we saw him have that issue at the start of the race. he's down in 28th place. Luca Verani, I think, is the only one out of all of them that has actually done good. He's up into 6th place right now, but he's 91 points behind Lucas Maruk. And I think this is just going to be like a 1 position, maybe 2 positions in the game for Luca Verani if it stays like this. But Verani looking down to the inside, her Rollinson up for 5th place right there.
But Luca Verani, of course, made contact with Gabriel earlier on. Is Luca Verani going to take any form of penalty for the contact? Franchica, oh, there's a big spin there. I think that was Verani going round before we cut to Frankie Franchica. Verani now dropping down the order. So Luca Verani, the only driver in the top 10 to be having a somewhat decent race, is decided, well, his race is unfolded rather quickly. This is Luca Verani, so turn 4, turn 5 into turn 6, and going to hit the inside curb. No, hang on. Understeer wide, does...
Oh, he understeered, tried to catch it at the... Trying to catch the rear by tap of the brakes, and then well, he got brake checked, and now Luca Verani is in the pits. The curse of the top 10. I think Luca Verani just sped into the pit lane.
Oh, you gotta feel for Luca Verani. Rollinson as well, shouldn't forget about him. An innocent bystander in that accident. He's in 16th now, having to go into the pits. I think he was lacking a front wing, a fairly crucial device on these Formula 3.5 cars. I mean,
the curse of the iGPFun top 10 is basically like, well, everybody has had a horrible day in the top 10. Lucas Maruk, I would say, has had the least horrible day because they're still in the top 10. We saw them make a mistake, but they are back into 7th place. But Lucas Maruk is feeling like Felipe Drogovic with everything just going his way.
It's absolutely, at the moment, really good reference there. It feels almost identical actually to the F2 current championship leader Simone Fessi.
I'm not salty.
27 car in 13th place. I know you're not salty because Logan Sargent had a great weekend in Hungary, didn't he? That was mean. I do apologise, Austin. I can't even apologise. So Simone Fessi, 13th, been a little bit quiet, hasn't he, today, Austin? We only see him a little bit further up the field, only at 5 places, but still doing a fairly good job. Marcelo Kessler up ahead of him, and Franchica behind, who is spinning though. That's Herrera spinning, I think, on the exit of turn 10. Another victim of turn 10. This time it was Herrera. And Austin, you can't, I mean, we've had races. Alton Park was, we saw a few incidents, Red Bull Ring as well, but I mean, there's been so many spins today. Currently Darren Rollinson in 24th place, coming through the final 2 corners. Somebody in the background, Richard Van Veen, was off the track. What has happened to Glamsetter? Is that an overtake, or Glamsetter has been off the track? Glamsetter's off the track now, so our 4th place driver off the track, and
another position. I
mean, you couldn't make it up, Austin, could you?
It's like these are paid actors, honestly. If you're Lucas Maruk and if you're in this championship fight and everybody heading into this championship, too much mustard off the Asian tire wear definitely wins the talking point. And Lucas Maruk, after that one incident, has just been perfectly ahead for him. He's actually gained spots now, up 6 spots. Lucas Maruk leading the championship, and it will be a massive lead for Lucas Maruk if he can stay in this position, because everybody in the top 10 in the championship is either not here, they've had an incident, or they've already crashed.
I mean, so many championship implications coming from Phillip Island. iGPFun before the race was saying, how crazy and how a shake-up, Phillip Island always
the only one that hasn't been having a bad day is Robert Ridgway, but he's in 10th, so he'll still be losing points to Lucas Maruk. But that's it. Robert Ridgway, I think, will be in 2nd place. Everything else is just going to be a free-for-all on who's going to be getting points.
And, we're lap 23 of 34. Still a lot of racing to go. We've seen a lot of twists and turns in this race so far. What are we going to see? I think you can count anything out. Nick Carty, though, trying to get past Herrera. Herrera made that mistake on the exit of turn 10 a few laps ago. Tyre temperatures will be a little bit higher than Pereira might necessarily have liked. This is a good chance for Nicati to make the move, get up into 16th place, sorry, 15th place, I should say. Tasma as well in 14th. I mean, Austin, we were talking earlier about the drivers having to think about their tyre wear and maybe struggling with tyres. I mean, many of the drivers, or some of them have had spins and had off tracks. I mean, tyre wear is going to be a real issue in the last 11 laps of this race.
Yeah, lockups and everything as they got to continue. And speaking of lockup, there's one for Nick Carty. That corner is so tough on the tires. The session has really helped up to help out these tires. The temperature's pretty low. It's sunset right now, so everybody's just not having the hottest track, but still without that hot track, it's still going to be very hard to get these cars slowed down, especially just racing towards the limits. I guess the only drivers that have not had anything go wrong, Rosencrantz, 5 seconds in the lead, Alistair Hay, 6 seconds behind him, and then 17 seconds to third.
And Evan Way, I mean, he's had an adventurous race at 13 places. Joris Blom is up to 4th. Don't think I caught that. He was down in sort of 10th place earlier on, fighting, having that
He started 17
battle.
spots ago. He's up 17 spots for Alistair Blom. Joris Blom is up 17 spots, as well as Phillip Lucas, up 17 spots. And sitting at the edge of 17 spots is Ben Goyetti, who is currently leading our Rookies Championship.
And Goyetti, he's had an adventurous race as well. He had that almost that fortuitous lockup into turn 4 and allowed the two drivers behind him to sort of spin and have their own accident. Crazy, absolutely crazy race. Richard Van Veen gets past Giovanni Stiletto. Richard Van Veen up into 24th. He's had a spin as well in this race, but Joris Blom is just a supreme drive from him so far. My memory escapes me, unfortunately, of who he was racing for so long, but they were battling so hard for 10th place, and all of a sudden, after all of the incidents, we see Joris now up into 4th, Stiletto and Jimenez. No, sorry, that's Stiletto and Ben White, I should say. Stiletto
That was a beautiful move by Ben White right there.
It was a great move by Ben White. Richard Van Veen as well, getting past Stiletto on this lap. So Giovanni struggling a little bit at the moment, it seems. Is he going to have the straight line speed down the main straight into turn 1? Looks like Ben White just has a little bit more pace in the car everywhere. And actually, Richard Van Veen, the driver that's just popped off your screen, looks like he's running a very low downforce setup as well. So Van Veen going to be hard to catch and overtake if you are Ben White.
It is indeed. Now, fans of the drivers who are in the top 10, the overall driver standings, iGPFun counts the best of 10 races, so they do get 2 drop rounds. So you don't have to worry. This will probably go as that drop round for one of them, but it's still championship implications. This is round 8 of 12, so those drop round scores are going to start coming into play very soon, but this is where it gets, the first 10 races is always got to try your best. Then you got to start thinking about which races were your least best and which drop scores and crazy math and all that stuff. So, but currently right now, it's not looking good if you are Jerome, Lamley, Jimenez, Talisman, McIntyre, Jones, Ferrandi, Zoma, Cardi, and Rollins.
Certainly isn't. You're right. You have got the drop round. It does afford the drivers to have a few off rounds like today, but some of the drivers haven't been able to attend all races, so they were really banking on the races that they could attend to be able to perform well. And especially if you're a Jerome Lamy that retired through no fault of his own, it's going to be extra heartbreaking. Franchica defending to the inside, Kessler trying to go all the way around the outside, but Kessler just defending through turn 4. Franchica, though, looks a little bit quicker at the moment. Last time by was about 0.5 of a second quicker than Marcelo Kessler. So this battle, I think, going to rage on for a little bit longer, Austin.
Yeah, that battle's just starting to fizzle out right there, but Frankie Franchica is still in that draft, is still on the attack, looking down to the inside, but very well defended by Kessler, who just kept the car wide heading into the corner and took the path of least resistance, staying onto that inside line and no lockups at all. So I feel like everybody's just out of that danger zone. Phillip Lucas with that low downforce is under pressure by Robert Ridgway. Ridgway, second place in the championship, currently looking down to the inside. and making that move up to 9th place to lower that speed, well, lower that championship implications that Lucas Maruk has on him. He does have a 32-point gap to Lucas Maruk, but Lucas Maruk is making the move on Glam Center up ahead, but Glam Center and Maruk are side by side into the Honda hairpin. Let's say on board of Phillip Lucas behind our 2,500 championship leader and 2nd place overall, currently championship place driver of Robert Ridgway, who's sitting in 9th place. You can see just how much that these drivers are controlling the back end, how the back end of the car just wants to go out on. These cars are so light and so powerful that the back end of the car just wants to dance around.
They really do, and that's why we've seen so many mistakes today, especially with how strong the wind is around here and how exposed the cars are on the track. It almost feels like a former airfield base, where the wind is just being able to get to the car from any and which way. Really difficult conditions for our drivers today, lap 28 out of 34. So still a few more tours around this Phillip Island circuit before these drivers have done all they need to. Phillip Lucas trying to get back past Ridgway,
downforce
to the inside, and that is why you choose low downforce around here. You might hurt through the corners, but that's extra speed that you get down the straight. I mean, that was a really easy pass for Phillip Lucas, but I think Ridgway, he's got so much pace during the middle sector that he'll be right on Phillip Lucas's tail as they once again exit out of turn 12 and down the straight towards turn 1.
Now, Phillip Lucas cruised past him, and honestly, it looked like he was fanning down a taxi at the time, or ordering a cup of tea or something, because Phillip Lucas just seems so relaxed making that overtake. As this is Victor Barris earning that overtake around the outside at turn 1. And the TribeX Esports driver making it look so fun on the outside at turn 1. And now he's just starting to pull away from Ben right behind him.
Yeah, Ben Chieti, I think, has had some form of issue on that last lap. So Victor Barris really capitalizing upon that mistake. Ben White has also been off the track at some point. This is actually what happened to Ben Chieti at the 28 Canadian. So down to turn 10, another victim of turn 10. He's just taking too much speed into the corner. Very well held, I have to say, for Chieti. Lost 1 place, about 2 spots, but actually no, holds it, I should say, to the inside.
He just lost time.
Vulnerable down the straight.
Yeah, he just lost time right there. Didn't lose position, but he's lost position. Didn't lose position, he lost time, but he also lost a bit of tire. That's a flat spot right there. That's going to be hurting his tire wear. The flat spots are not currently implemented into iRacing, though I know when they do, it's going to be slammed through the gutter and everyone's not going to like it.
To be honest, I don't think we'd see half of the cars on the grid at the moment, but to be honest, if we did have lockups, I mean, we'd be forcing pit stops. A lot of these drivers
would come in. If flat spots were a thing here today, this will be a multi-stop race.
I'd love to be the tire manufacturers, I think, if you had flat spots around here.
I believe Hankook tires are the iRacing Formula 3 tire sponsor, so Hankook going to be getting a lot of love with that.
They'll be getting a lot of money from virtual tires. Norris doing a great job, so he's in 4th place. Andy Flint, though, really turning his form around. Not been lucky in the previous few races. Flint, though, keeping it clean, keeping it calm and collected, and looking that he might be able to get a 4th place finish here today. Glamsetter got past Lucas Maruk, so Maruk, I think, not really wanting to fight that place too hard. 6th or 7th doesn't really make too much difference to him. He's all about scoring points. The same, Maruk on the inside of Glamsetter. They're side by side as we head into turn 1.
Side by side, Maruk on the outside, Glamsetter onto the inside, Maruk just onto the outside, like Glamsetter got onto the curb, had to back out of it, almost making contact with Lucas Maruk because he had that inside curb and he just had to back out of it, or else it was going to be a massive crash right there.
Certainly would have been. Maruk up into 6th place, Glamsetter down in 7th. I take back all of what I said a few corners ago about Lucas Maruk will be happy with 7th place. No, he clearly wants as many points as he can muster from this week. not been the race for any of his championship rivals. Baruch as well, been unlucky, but fought through the field. Really feels like it's been a race of two tails. Either drivers have really excelled, been lucky and had such good performances, and other drivers that just haven't had the rub of the green whatsoever. Ridgway in 10th place, trying to get past Phillip. Lucas wide on the hill as we break down into turn 10. That's going to put him on the back foot. Tyre temperatures will be going through the roof because of that mistake from Phillip. Lucas, Robert Ridgway, I think this has got to be one of his best opportunities to re-pass Lucas and up once again into 9th place for Robert Ridgway. Ridgway forces Lucas to the inside. Now that means he's got the inside line for turn 1. Ridgway on the inside. I think, Austin, this is going to be a fairly easy move for Robert Ridgway.
It is looking very easy, but it's not as easy as Lucas on Ridgway, but Ridgway able to make that move and with confidence with that higher downforce. But he's got to make sure that he can stay ahead of Lucas and start to close in on Stuart Millen, because if they continue to just swap with each other and battle with each other through these corners, they're going to be losing the spot and ground to position number 8. But here comes Ridgway. Lucas on Ridgway, and oh, Lucas loses it in the brakes and he goes around! And that is why you don't pick low downforce.
That's why you don't pick low downforce and then go for
cons.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, Lucas was doing a great job. That setup was working for him. He just pushed it too far, just got a little bit over-ambitious under brakes, and the car said, oh, you must be joking. And around the car went Andy Flint as well. Also another driver to opt for the low downforce package. He's going to be rapid in a straight line, but it seems to be fairly nowhere, you have to say, through the middle sector. So Joris Blom at the moment got the advantage, but Flint still making his life difficult. 2 laps to go at the end of this lap for our top 4, I should say. Interesting battle going on. And also don't count out Lucas Baruch. He's in the background. He's showing that he wants to be a little bit feisty. These two make contact or slow each other down. Baruch could be coming through, picking the pocket of all of them, and ended up in 4th place himself.
He certainly can sneak a very good top 5 position right here if he wants to, but Joris Bloom definitely. He's got a top 5 in the bag if he keeps it very confident and on the road. But Andy Flint right behind him is looking to get some extra points right there. And behind him, Phillip Lucas has had another issue.
I wonder if that's tyres just being too hot. Maybe the tyres going away from him. Low downforce will increase your tyre wear, or Lucas maybe just a little bit upset with himself, angry after making that mistake in turn 4, 1 lap ago. Lucas now in 15th place. It's all fallen away from him in the final few laps of this race. Joris Blum will be hoping to avoid the same fate, but Andy Flint so aggressive into turn 10. Flint, this is his
running
best
that lower downforce too. Flint is running that lower downforce, and I believe Bloom might be doing the same. So these two are like rocket ships on the front straightaway, and Lucas Baruch behind them. Don't forget about him back there. He's also running the lower downforce. And here they go. Yep, both of them running the lower downforce as they fly next to each other. And yeah, Flint, Bloom, and Baruch, all low downforce runners. So they aren't going to have any advantage on each other on the straightaways, but watch out with their tires, as we saw Phillip Lucas. These drivers on these lower downforce tires are going to be a lot more worn and a lot more tricky. Actually, looking at it, I think this might be Joris Bloom on the medium downforce, not the high downforce. Or it also might just be an optical illusion, but it is a very thicker wing than Andy Flint right there. But Bloom down to the inside, retaking the spot. Bloom up into 4th. Beautiful move.
Andy Flint won't be best pleased with that. I think they tagged wheels. Bloom almost
also
hit
white flag.
His competitor out of the way. You're right, white flag, 1 lap to
That's
go.
how far Rosencrantz is, by the way. It's not white flag for these guys. It's 1.5. It's still like 1 3/4 of the lap left for Joris Bloom in this fight. They still got to go again. It's white flag for Rosencrantz right now, and Alistair Hay, who just came across the start-finish line. But for these guys, it is now white flag, and it's last lap for them. Giovanni Saletto on Richard Van Veen. This is a lap down. They're going to go side by side, heading into the Honda hairpin, and that's a bit late onto the brakes by Saletto, trying to go for a switchback right there, but he almost lost it. As let's go to our leader, Chris Rosencrantz. It's been on and off through the season. I think it's the first time we're seeing it this season, but Rosencrantz a ride with a 3/10 gap in pole. And everyone, well, if they didn't know who Chris Rosencrantz is, they have found out right now. Chris Rosencrantz with a 11-second lead. In the lead, led every lap. Maybe he has the fastest lap. Yeah, he definitely does have the fastest lap of the race. It's a grand slam for Chris Rosencrantz, and another driver who started up on pole wins here in the iGPFun Formula 3 series.
Is that our biggest winning margin as well for Rosencrantz? 11.9 seconds it will be as Alistair Hay crosses the line. He takes second place, finishes, I should say, exactly where he started. So Hay, great job by him. And Evan Way, what a race by him, the Canadian driver. 92, of course, he gained 13 places from where he started, survived all of the carnage. Evan Way, congratulations. And I think this is his first podium of the season. Flint will come across the line in 5th. Joris Blom just holds off in 4th place. Then it'll be Maruk Glamsetter, Stuart Milne, Simone Fessy, and Robert Ridgway, and that is your top 10. Still battles heading out.
Speaking of surviving chaos, Lucas Maruk, after an incident at the start, will be improving his championship gap to everybody by outscoring all the drivers that are currently in the overall driver standings top 10. It seems like everybody who is in the top 10 at this time had a issue. So if you follow the iGPFun Twitter, the overall driver standings top 10 is gonna look a little bit rough after this race. As I can say, Phillip Island, this is a championship game changer today.
Really, really is. What an intriguing race that we were treated to then. Almost 48 minutes the race, so really long race for our drivers today. And Killer and Richie Robinson, I think he's had a few issues. I mean, it's come up on our timing screens a few times that Killen's had a little bit of an issue, but he's still up 13 places from where he started, one of our biggest gainers on the grid. So 21st place for Killer and Richie Robinson. I think I'll be fairly chuffed with that one.
Yeah, you'd definitely be very happy with that one. And after 34 laps of heart-pounding action here, I think Sebastian, it's time to run through our finishing order.
It is. So Rosencrantz takes the win. I think you're right. It's his first return this season, and what a return for Chris Rosencrantz, winner by almost 12 seconds. Alistair Hay in second place, with Evan Way rounding out your podium places. Joris Blom, he's up 17 places. He finishes in 4th, with Andy Flint alongside him in 5th place. Lucas Maruk, after that early incident, he will finish in 6th, and Glamsetter finishes, I should say, where he started, but that's not the story of Christian Glamsetter's race one bit. He's in 7th place, Stuart Milne 8th, Simone Fessy in 9th, Robert Ridgway in 10th place. Adam Talsma just misses out on the top 10. He's 11th. Marcelo Kessler in 12th. Frankie Francica 13th. Nick Carty in 14th. Luca Varani had such a good race early on. Unfortunately for him, a contact, or a spin, I should say, on the exit of turn 5 saw him drop down into 15th place. Philip Lucas made a mistake in the closing few laps. He'll come across the line in 16th place. Nazet Valerio Herrera in 17th place, with Victor Barris 18th. Ben Gietti, he's up 14 places. He finishes in 19th place, with Rafael Munza in 20th. Clem Richie Robinson, I was mentioning, up 13 places. He finishes in 21st. Darren Rowlandson in 22nd. Richard Van Veen 23rd, with Giovanni Stiletto in 24th. Ben White will finish 25th after that superb move he made earlier on in the race. Gracie alongside him in 26th. Now we get to our drivers who really did not have a good race. Jimenez, unfortunately for him, made a few mistakes. He's 27th. Will McIntyre Jones did complete 33 laps. So after that incident, he continued, but 28th was the best he could do. Podopenko 29th. Bill Sironek 30th. Matt Brewer 31st. Reed Dennis 32nd. Jerome Lamy, he disconnected earlier on in the race. Only managed to complete 16 out of the 34 laps. So disappointing day for Jerome Lamy. Pavel Vaselev as well retired, as well as Giacomo Mergio, Simone Gabriel, Rodrigo Duran and Joshua Wilson. They all retired through the race. Quite a high attrition rate, actually, Austin, around here. Phillip Island really delivering once again.
It really did. The attrition rate, like we were saying throughout the race, it was just catching tires, drivers out, and everything. But one driver that it did not catch out, it was a race winner because it pulled off a Grand Slam, 11.9 seconds in the lead. I believe it's his first race back in the series after a little bit of a break. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chris Rosencrantz. Chris, congrats on the victory.
Yes, thanks a lot. But I raced always your Apex League. That was my first time in the iGP race.
Oh yeah, it was this is your first time in iGPFun. Yeah, I remember you from our Apex Racing Academy Formula 3 series, and I'm guessing because we have so many regular faces switch between leagues. I'm guessing I just thought that you're a regular, but no, yeah, you're a regular to me, but not a regular to iGPFun. So yeah, you walked in here, you beat everybody, and now you just got the smug look on your face.
Yes, I'm actually quite happy, but as you can see in the qualifying, all of the drivers was quite close together. I think until P30, around a second, I did in the qualifying quite good strategy. I've stolen some slipstream, and in the race, the drivers was also quite similar. There it was just about consistent. So Alistair was not that much slower than myself. I was just a bit more consistent, and I can get away. I think that's it.
Well, as some they say, consistency is key. You definitely showed that in this longer race format. The keys to the victory, I guess, would say, was it the tire management?
The tires, because the track have not that many corners, are so high G-forces who works on the tires, but you have a lot of straights, so I think the tires are not an essential part for this track. They feel from the beginning to the end, the same. I think for me it was the same.
Well, you came here and you took the win. Will we be seeing you next week at Spa?
I think actually not. I raced today because it's quite late. Now it's 30 minutes off to 0 o'clock, so 12 p.m. So in time 11:30 p.m. I raced today because I had the other league, but the league got cancelled, and I prepared me for the race. So I was interested to drive a race, and I found that there's a league, but it's too late for me generally.
All right. Well, congrats on the victory. Glad to have you show up in iGPFun, and congrats on the win. Before we let you go to, relax and have a good night's sleep, anybody you want to thank?
I want to thank you guys for the broadcast, and that's it.
All right. Well, thank you, Chris, for stopping by and, taking the win and everything. And hopefully we get to see you later on in future iGPFun Formula 3 broadcast. Once again, thank you, Chris. Over to Sebastian. Any final words?
Just what an incredible race that we had today. Really, really enjoyed that one. The drivers really had to show their skill around here. Really interesting to hear from Chris Rosencrantz, and what an amazing record I think that he's going to hold. He's going to have only entered one race, have won that, actually taken the Grand Slam, and that's I think his iGPFun career done for at least the moment. But supreme race by everybody involved. Cannot wait for the next one in 1 week's time.
It really is. Next week, we head over to Spa for another fantastic round, the iGPFun Formula 3 Series presented by SRP. If you want some of the best sim racing pedals on the market, designed by professional sim racers, you head over to SRP. From here at Phillip Island, I've been joined by Sebastian Boscher-Williams with Mark Tranter in the production booth. You're here live watching Apex Racing TV. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.